Hello, 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 hello. There we go. We're back. All right, there we go. Thank you, folks. Welcome back. We're here today to cover the official chapter, the official One Piece 1168 chapter. Remember, if you can guess the music in the background, you do win something special from me here at the show, here at the Elijah Bailey Show, here at Edge 2 Gaming, here at the Pod OKC, any of the places where I frequent and give you amazing information about the shit that I love. There's a chance that you could win something. So let's go ahead and dive into this. And I'm just laughing. Like, I have not read the chapter yet. I got home, fucking... I don't even know what to on what's going on, but you guys know, well, if you've been here for a while, you know I had knee surgery 2.5, maybe 3 years ago, and my knee has just been fucking killing me since, and lately it's been a bitch, but fortunately, it popped the other day, and like unexpectedly, I was, holy shit, this is about to fucking hurt. Didn't hurt. After that, everything's been fine. I've been doing aerial kicks, jumps, all kinds of shit, without feeling my knee where the pain was. So I'm like, yes, this is time to get back into it. I'm super excited. But that being said, correcting my walk and things that I had to change a little bit has taken a toll on my body because my hips are sore. The even dispersion of weight on both of I feel it in my quad a little bit different. So when I got home, I laid down, went to sleep, just woke up, which was cool because I got to hear our native Japanese speaker. And remember, we're gone from YouTube for a week and a half. Still, today is maybe one more week. Maybe next Sunday we'll be back. I got banned because we did the One Piece 1151 live reaction, which I'll just keep that here on Twitch and Kick. Because Facebook, I think, hit us with something, which Facebook, they're not doing shit for their streamers right now. So it is what it is. But YouTube, I don't want to get another strike. So until March, we got to be squeaky clean, fucking Zohan clean. Let's see. Thank you. Thanks everybody on Instagram that's reaching out. Just go ahead and click the link. Just come here for the time being. Remember all of our watch throughs. I have been watching Kickyo Hitman Reborn. We did 4.5 hours of that, which was the first 10 episodes. We'll do that again over the next couple days. Had to take time off because I had to put down my dog Chewy. And I kind of got back into streaming, just trying to feel normal again. So now we're back on schedule. I remember that they did the English dub for Haikyuu. So I'm going to start doing that because I've never heard the English dub besides season 2. And that's because I had to go, down in the trenches to find that shit. So now that it's officially being distributed on Crunchyroll, we can listen to it. And I'm excited because I know season 2, I watched a couple episodes. I was like, if I can't find the other seasons, I don't want to go through this and cover any of this or watch it when I'm missing everything else. And the voices were real fucking weird. I played the Haikyuu game. That's the primary place I heard the English dub. It is what it is. Hop right in to find out. I don't want to say how Harald betrayed Ida, but he did. I mean, he did. He tried to uphold her dream, but basically he betrayed her in the end with this bullshit. Let's make this last post and let's go ahead and get into it because we already know that Imu was going to fucking betray Harald long ass time ago. Brox told him, Ida says, I said Ida, and went back and it's Ida now, so Ida is the name. Who else told him? Saul. And it's like, why aren't you listening to motherfuckers when they tell you shit? It makes zero sense that you're not listening to people that actually know what's going on around you. Harald played the fool. I can't even stick up for him. I can't defend him because he didn't do what he was supposed to fucking do. I mean, he tried to bring peace to Elbaph. He tried to do that for Ida, but he did not fucking really do the best thing for his people. So, without further ado, the official chapter 1168. Let's go ahead and get into this. Uh-oh. Wait a second. Let's move something just for a minute. There we go. Okay. 1168, the snow of Elbaph, and we see Hachi sitting here with his gloves on, and the sheeps are bringing him more mittens. So, reader request: a family of sheep knitting Hachi's 6 gloves by Mrs. Fuji. Very cute. Told you guys the other day I like this. I like the fact they're pouring coffee in the background right now. I'm a coffee fiend. It's ridiculous. Let's go ahead and look at this. So we're looking at an island, and it says the same year, 15 years ago, around the world, narrator says. Then we have talk amongst the people. They're saying those giants in the Navy played a crucial role once again. That's so great to hear, one guy says as he's reading the newspaper. Another one with a cap says, I used to think they were scary. Now I wish I could meet one someday. We see a chef talking to a man with a hat, delivering a package. He says, is there any way I can get more shipped here? Folks can't get enough of that Elbaph seafood. He said, yeah, I bet. Then we see, and I can't remember his name, but I went back, and he brokers a lot of shit for the black market. And I was like, well, how long was Elbaph open before they closed back again? They're only open a year after Harald does all this shit. So there's a year's time where they get, and he goes, as he's talking and trying to sell this, he says, good Elbaph cedar, it's quality stuff. Too bad it's hard to ship. It's so hard to ship, which that may be the Adam tree, which the lumber that we see in the background may be the potential lumber used for the Thousand Sunny. Like, I knew what I was thinking, but thinking it again, I was like, yo, I mean, it's a year that they're importing this. How often did they import wood? I don't know. This could be a limited amount that they got. It just seems like things are moving fast. Whatever, this may not be the lumber for the Sunny. It could be. It'd be nice if it was tied to it. But he continues. He says it's hard to come by, and then guy says solid or sold. Fuck, I said solid. Let me wake up. Then Nera says Elbaph, the new world, and we can see the underworld. We can see water splashing off of the branches from the new world, and we still cannot see the heaven world. But we hear from Harald yelling into the masses on the megaphone. And once our dream of being part of the world government comes true, and then we see people like Harald, King Harald, because this is all they know is that he's trying to open up the world to them. That's it. They don't see none of the other bullshit. Harald continues, I think that we should build a cruise ship so that we can travel freely to our fellow nations, which would be fucking cool. As I mentioned, everybody came to Elbaph's aid when there was the winter that killed the crops and they were starving. So it's nice for the giants to see the people that helped them and get off of the island, because unless you're a giant pirate going out and pillaging and doing shit, you're not getting off the island as Harald and his crew. Working directly with the king gets you that freedom. Harald continues to the crowd. To the rest of the world, we are just a very curious minority. There are so many different people in so many different countries. They each have cultures worthy of respect. And as we come into contact with them, Elbaph will gain more friends and more wisdom. And then somebody goes, I can't wait. We see giants snickering, finger under the nose like Goku and Luffy. Said, Harald goes, we're almost there, my countrymen. Our future is bright. And the giant that's under his nose says, guess the warrior business is dead. Looking at a future where he doesn't have to fight. There's other shit that he could probably come proficient in, find another part of himself. It seems like all the giants were really buying into Harald's goals, but also with Ida greeting people in the underworld and being receptive to other people, other giants, other races, that rubbed off on him as well. Because if you're leaving and you're coming back, you may be going straight into the underworld, if not building a bridge up, and you're seeing Ida and talking with her. And then Harald on the other side, he's leaving, trying to mend bridges with the rest of the countries. That's all you really know. It's like that is a very powerful force to have those two people driving. One person that is not of lineage, that is a giant from another country that has come and accepted their way of life, but also offering and welcoming others in the way she was. And then Harald changing because of the value and the wealth and the growth that he found in the world. Then we have Harold sitting there. He said, I will see it through, Ida. And then we go over to the Walrus School, which is now built by Saul. And we see kids playing with the ball. And Harold says, this is thanks to you, Saul. And Saul goes, a lot more healthy and kids swinging swords. Gee, she. And I love Saul still got his hat. I love Saul after O'Hara still has this vast appreciation to really go all in. He doesn't think that they're going to get overrun because they're all giants. He knows Harold's bigger than him. There's a lot of ancient giants that are bigger. But after the destruction of O'Hara and seeing that kind of shit and what happened to Nico Robin, you have to think that that is just traumatizing for Saul. But Saul is one of the characters that we see has that conviction and that strength to do what is necessary. Saul continues to talk to Harold, says, don't it scare you thinking about what you're losing, Harold? From a logical standpoint. And Harold stops, thinks about it, he says, I no longer think of military might as our national strength. And then, with great conviction, as he thinks, he says, Ida taught me everything I know. The fact that I met her is my lifelong treasure. And we go back, because now Ida is dead. We see all these roses, all these bouquets around her grave, her headstone. And we see the day that Harold talked to her last outside a snowy cabin in the underworld, Heidrun and his crew out there. And she goes, hey, Harold, you've really changed. When I first came here, I was terrified of all the civil wars, but you've changed this country bit by bit. Just looking happy, looking up to him, looking up at him in the bed, and she continues, children studying hard, bright and cheerful laughter. It's like a different country completely. And Harold goes, old practices, strange customs. We ought to throw out all the bad habits of our warrior past. As he points to her, and she goes, really? But I like warrior's pride. I think it's cool. You ought to treasure your culture. Someone that treasures and values something they didn't have. She didn't take away and say, get rid of Elbaph's bad history because it's going to make us look bad and we'll feel guilty about it and blah, blah, blah. She said, embrace your warrior pride, but also embrace intelligence and communication and diplomacy. Use other means as warriors. This is one thing that you find out as a fighter, as a martial artist. I'm not like the UFC and all these weekend fighters and shit like that. Somebody that fights all the time and trains all the time. Like, it comes to a point, it's like they're at some point in time, fighting is not fun. It's not an ego trip anymore. I ain't got to have like big dick swinging every fucking word. Sometimes the best thing is peace and to fucking leave. Tuck that dick up, roll it up a little bit and see what it's like to be smaller in the pants and just be like, hey, I don't want to do this. Because that ego, the nuts start getting warm and you're like, I'm gonna fight. And you're like, yeah, you can. But if you beat this motherfucker's ass that don't do shit and you train all the time, what are you really getting out of it? How big of a person are you? Just walk away, know what you can do, and keep that in your back pocket, because we have seen the world government betray people over and over and over again. I digress. After Ida drops the same fucking bomb that Saul just did, he goes, well, what about the fact that you and I weren't allowed to marry? I've never gotten over that. And she goes, ha, ha, ha. You told them you wanted to make me your true wife, didn't you? That's so sweet of you. You're my big sweetie. What about Loki? And Harold jumps in. He's like, he'll be Heidrun's little brother. How's that? And she goes, to me, that's what he's always been. Ha, ha, ha. As she laughs. And it's like, if you want to change the fact that you can't get married, fucking marry her in front of everybody. And be like, this law, this rule, we're not fucking going by that. You don't have to get rid of your warrior ways, because you were a warrior for a reason. If you wouldn't have stopped that giant in town, he would have continued fucking up, regular humans. So there's a benefit to that, and that's what Saul's saying. That's what Ida's saying. Have pride that you are of the ancient giant warriors, and that as an ancient giant, you are able to pivot. You're able to change. You're not stuck in one facet as just a warrior. She goes, just hearing that from you will keep me bed for months the fact that her boys will be brothers. She said, but really, I don't mind. You're everyone's King Harold, not just mine. And he says, or she continues, we're almost there, aren't we? As she lays back, just flops back in the bed. He goes, that's right, Ida. Very soon, we'll be connected to the rest of the world, and our world will grow to be millions of times larger than before. As he stands up, then we'll do what we used to do and go traveling all over. As you see them traveling on a ship, both of them smiling, and back in the young days when he didn't have a beard, he's clean shaven, he had hair on his head, had his horns before he ripped them out. And Ida looks over and says, that sounds fantastic. I can't wait. He goes, neither can I, as he leans in to grab her hand, and as she touches it and squeezes, her hand slips, and the last of her hockey, the last of her life, exits, and she dies. We see Harald leaving as Heidrun runs in with the new giant warrior pirates, and then he's over the bed, hand on his mom, crying with the rest of them. Mato in the back crying, Harold's hand over his eye, and Loki sitting in the detention center down in the underworld, arms folded, arms crossed. We see the winter snow cover and bury Loki's birth mother Estra's village, and then he tilts his hat down in disappointment because his mom Ida is gone. Thanks for the follow, G. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Page 8. We now are 14 years ago from the present day Elbaph, where they're telling this story, this flashback of what happened in Aurust Castle. We have Sacred Mary Joa, and then we hear Shanks has gone missing. Hang on. Did the stream stop? I have the feed. Hang on, let me check something. It showed me that you guys aren't getting the feed. Okay. Okay, I guess everything's fine. I'm just gonna start from. I'm at the top of this chapter. This is page 8 and 9. 14 years ago, Sacred Mary Joa. Now, this is the time that we're gonna get some answers about Shanks. Well, I mean, in the next chapter we should, because the Nika fruit gets stolen. But this is 14 years ago as we lead into the current moment of Heidrun and Loki hearing the story of what happened this day in Aurust Castle, or happened after this, after Harald was promoted to a knight. Someone says, Shanks has gone missing. And we say, yes, and once his current mission was complete, he was on track to be made a full-fledged knight. And his backup, as his backup, this means you have a golden opportunity. Will you take it? As the Gorosei says to King Harold, and he says, of course, I want to join the Knights of God. It means that Elbaph will be allowed to join the government. And so he looks, and the text bubbles, I think that we have just 3 people reading. It looks like, congratulations, the great one trusts you, from Nosijuro. And then St. Peter says, what a long haul it's been. And then Mars says, and now you will be known as the king who changed Elbaph's history forever. And he's like, actually, on the day that Elbaph is entered into the world government, Harold continues to tell the Gorosei, I plan to abdicate the throne. Someone younger and pure deserves to be our new king. And St. Peter's like, nigga, no, we'll tell you. But before they say anything, on the throne that no one sits upon, Imu'S says, that is for Mu to decide. As Harold gasps and looks up, why is there someone sitting on the empty throne? And Imu'S says, come closer. I have been watching thee, Harold. Harold's shocked, which he fucking shouldn't be, but whatever. You know, he's been head first steeped in slavery. We see the Mary Joa capital, boom, expand as he is shocked. He's like, ah! But it's not just shock. It also, his mark has changed. We see on the right what the covenant used to be, and now he gets a deep sea covenant, which is almost like the little awakening halo upside down on the mark. And then Harold goes, this strength, as he grabs and grips his left tricep, seam coming off as he bends his knee towards all of the Gorosei. I say all the Gorosei. We know Saint Saturn's dead, but you know the rest of them. And he goes, it's ripping through me. It's almost frightening. It's rippling through me. And then Mars goes, and now he is immortal. They feel it. Orkuri says, it chills the spine. No, Sajuro, he is more than a monster. At this point, he's a weapon. As the panel kind of pans into Imu just sitting upon the throne, high above Harald, looking down. Now, at long last, thou art an undying knight. Thou art an undying knight in service to Mu. Harold goes, undying? It still doesn't feel real. Imu comes back in. Thou wilt create an abyss on Elbaph. That will be thy bond to us. And Harold goes, and when thou hast... Oh. Harold looks up in joy, but Imu continues, and when thou hast completed thy final duty after that. And then we see Harold back on his ship going, let's have a toast. And they're clanking beers as they drink. Imu continues, thou wish will be granted. Elbaph will be welcome among the world government's membered nations. And then Harold says, welcome home, King Harold. Or he puts his fist up in the air and everybody says, welcome home, King Harold. Aurust Castle. Huh? Harold says, what did you just say, oh great Imu? As he sits in the throne room by himself. And then Imu says, thou wilt build a giant fleet to rival the navy and act for the benefit of the world. That is thy. And then Harold says, wait, no, stop. I have been doing all this to help Elbaph escape the cycle of fighting. Of course, I have always intended to allow those who wish to enlist in the navy to do so, but not like this. And then the giants outside are like, who's His Majesty talking to in there? And then Imu starts to possess his asshole because it starts digging in and says, thou sadist history would be atoned for. Wait a second. Use the entire country to form an army of warriors. Thou will build a giant fleet to rival the navy and act for the benefit of the world government. That is thy. Thou sadist history would be atoned for. Thou sadist, thou wouldst be a sadist. There we go. Because I was like, sadist? What the fuck are we talking about, sadist? That's user error. That's human error. Thou... Hang on. There we go. In old speak, thou saidest history would be atoned for. Thou saidest thou wouldst be a slave, Imu says, penetrating Harold's mind. And then Harold says, yes, but only myself. Then Imu continues, history is not so light that it can be shouldered by thee alone. Do not speak back. And glares, he says, thou canst not disobey Mu. Those who have accepted the depths covenant are given immortality and strength, but must obey orders in return. Think what thou wilt, I will have my way. And Harold says, huh, as he's being pulled forward. And then Harold goes, I cannot stop. I'm being controlled, and Elbaph with me as he grips at the tattoo on his tricep. There was never any intent to bring us into a circle of the world. Damn you, Imu, he finally says. We see Aurust Castle. Guards, to arms! Were you planning to make the warriors of Elbaph your slave, Harold thinks. And the Aurust says, what is it, your majesty? Is someone in here? He said, bring chains to me. Or, bring chains, tie me to this pillar. And they're like, huh? Act quickly, call Chief Gerald and my sons. And the soldier says, I'm pretty sure Heidrun is out to sea right now, and Prince Loki is still in the cell for that thing he did. And the herald's thinking, I cannot resist. And the guard's like, what's the matter, your majesty? Yeah, 8 of them in here. And he goes, just release him, he yells. Then we see Underworld holding cell. You're freed, Loki. Like, as he sits there leaning back on a keg. Report to Aurust Castle immediately. The king calls for you. And then Jarl's house. Urgently, he says, just a moment. What could it be? Then the narrator says, but now let us return to the story. On this day, there was a terrible massacre inside the castle. And the most beloved ruler in the history of Elbaph, wise King Harald, perished. As we look upon his picture, and we know that Loki and Chief Jarl walk in on Harald, see him being stabbed by the giant. So maybe they were trying to chain him, didn't get to, and they had to stab. He's like, stab me, kill me now. This is going to be the massacre they talk of. It's going to be pinned on Loki, which Loki really didn't do shit. Loki defended Ida, who got poisoned. Loki got thrown off the fucking branch because of his mama. The kids were talking bad about him. You know, Loki been responding to bullshit. These memories inside of memories, these flashbacks to give us more depth into the character. I really want to see what's going to happen with Shanks and Shamrock as well. But finally getting back to this point in time means we're moving ahead in the story where Loki is explaining everything to Heidrun. Skopper's joining in, so he gets a full picture, and then they become the 2 sons that form one king. And I think that Heidrun stays on Elbaph now since he drifted out. He went out to sea, and Loki goes out either upholding David Ezebek's dream or... This is a tough one. I don't want to say Ida, her dream of bonding, but I want to say like she told him stories of her and Harald traveling and what his dad was doing, and he wants to see the world himself. Yeah, he's not following Harold's stuff. Harald fucked Ida's dream because now they're not free. He didn't free Elbaph, but this final task of his, trying to tell his sons and Jarl what's coming and prepare them, and then trying to hold himself off because he knows he's fucked up. I mean, it's all that he could fucking do. I wish that he would have learned from his past and not try to just erase it, because that's never the way to move past it. It's to accept, embrace, and learn, and then teach. And to put safeguards to protect, but it is what it is. I really enjoyed this chapter. 1168 was nice. The spoilers did not spoil anything for me as far as what was going on, because I wanted to see it for myself. I wanted to see the actual artwork and what was being pulled out in each line from the character. It's Harold's heart. Harold's heart got pulled out with Ida, and it got replaced with duty, and his purpose was what drove him. That kept her alive. Her dream kept her alive, and to see Elbaph, because it's his life. But in that, he missed what the people actually needed most. They did need schools. They did need to... Oh, shit. Where he froze. They did need to learn about the world, need to travel out, but it was stuff that Harald could have done it a different way with all the... I mean, he could have rolled out soldiers, different warriors with him as he went on these expeditions to meet other countries and other people and expose them that way. And then also get different perspectives, because he was like a tyrant king for a minute, but now, you know, it is what it is. Loki's dream, Heidrun's dream, based off of this, will coincide with Luffy's, and then also help take down Imu. So, thanks everyone for jumping in. It has been crazy to get these chapters. The TCB scans have done really well lately. At least the last couple of weeks, we're going to be on break, I do believe. Then we have, as Sky Fox says, Snoop Dogg. No, it is not. Good guess though. I'm excited to see where we are in Elbaph, how we get back to Luffy and them, what Skopper tells them, how Luffy can perfect his hockey. Was it the time spent here in Elbaph? Because there does seem to be a time distortion. Once we get that, we'll get more answers. But also, Brook has ties to souls. This whole arc was about Zebek and Harold's souls being distorted and kind of taken by Imu. Their will has been subjugated because of this. So what do you guys think? Leave comments below. Remember, we will not be back to YouTube for a little bit because I got banned, but your live actions, your live reactions, your live reads, your live streams will all be here, and the podcast. Remember, tonight 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, the pod OKC. We're talking anime. We will be live tonight. Go follow the pod OKC on Twitch and turn on notifications. Also turn on notifications here because we do raids. We do stream from here, other things and other channels and other friends. JStone812, the Buckety. Make sure to keep your eye out for some of my streaming buddies. Thank you guys so much. I will catch you in the next stream, hopefully tonight, to come talk anime with us. Peace. I'm out.